Hello. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. If you are joining tonight, come and say hi in the chat and let me know you're here. And tell me what the best part of your day was today. Let's start there. I'm so excited to be here tonight, and I'm traveling tomorrow, so which is unusual for me. I like trapped myself inside when COVID started, and I'm higher risk, so I tend to travel less than others. And I am going to visit friends and family in New York and New Jersey this week, and so I'm excited and a little anxious, and I love the distraction of something fun to do like this. Hey, Mary Jo, thanks for joining. And if you're here with us, come and say hi. So here's how this works. So we are going to spin a wheel to see what tonight's topic will be. This is my favorite part. And I get like nervous and excited about it, even though they're all topics I've chosen, but I don't know what I'm going to be talking about yet. That's fun. I will, once I spin the wheel, I'll start talking about the topic. If you've got questions, put them in the chat. And I'll also put up a text number that you can send questions to if you don't want to put your questions in the chat. So if you are coming to me for the first time today, hey, Amber, thanks for coming. So glad to be here. Best event today so far was pedal power. Ooh, I would like to know more about that. What is that? That sounds like something flower oriented. That makes me happy. So if you don't know me and you're joining me for the first time, I'm Lauren Lefkowitz. I'm an executive coach, and my tagline is "Fine is a trap." Fine is the space we all fall into when we're justifying that things are fine, even though we're actually settling for things we don't want. It's fine. They pay me a lot of money, so I have to work really hard. It's fine. They're going to promote me at some point, so I'm going to work really hard. It's fine that my boss yells at me sometimes. I like the rest of the company. I like the job I do, but I don't like the company. But it's fine because I have cool coworkers, right? And my feeling is that we are not here for fine. We are here for amazing. And so I work with executives and emerging leaders to help them escape this trap of being fine. Hey, Lee, welcome. Thanks for joining. So glad you're here. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I think I've mastered the sharing and closed out all of the erroneous windows. So last week I had some trouble finding this, but here we are. So I'm going to go ahead and give the wheel a spin and see where we land. Ooh, yes. Great topic. Fixed versus growth mindsets. I love the applause. I love the feeling of winning. I love the confetti. It all makes me really happy. And actually, I'm in a networking group where they, hey, Katie, welcome. Thanks for joining us. I'm in a networking group where they spin a wheel and give away lunch every week if you comment in their Facebook group. And I won lunch this week. So I had sushi lunch delivered to me today because my name came up on the wheel. I love a win. Okay. So we're going to talk about fixed versus growth mindsets. So first I'm going to define that for you because that can be a little bit nebulous. Even the word mindset is sort of nebulous. But first I'm going to define them, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about how we go in flow between one and the other as humans, as evolved as we may be, as supported as we may be. And I may go into some personal stories about my own fixed mindset. So mindset is a little bit more on the being side than on the doing side, right? So we as humans are doers. We are trained to be doers. And our mentality as humans is to do things so we can have things so we can be happy. The be part is the mindset part. And so the grammar in this is terrible, but it's who we be that sits under our mindset. And it's not necessarily who we are being, which is the grammatically correct term, but it's who we actually be, right? So when I talk about this with clients, I usually bring up like making eggs for breakfast, right? Like something really simple where our mindset can be set in a way. So let's say that you love to cook and I hate to cook, and we both walk into our respective kitchens. Our beings, our decision making is based on the fact that I do not like to cook and you do. And we both know we need to go to the grocery store, and we both open our refrigerators and we both see that we have eggs. Now, we also see we don't have milk, so we can't have cereal. We don't have yogurt. We're basically out of everything, right? So eggs it is. If we're going to eat this morning, it's eggs. So because my mindset is fixed on, I don't like to cook, my mentality, my mindset is going to be, damn it, I have to cook something now. Oh, if I want to eat anything, I have to turn on the fire machine in the kitchen. I think they call it a stove. And I'm going to then be annoyed, right? That's my being is going to be annoyed. You, on the other hand, see that you have eggs and you're like, oh, I didn't know I had eggs. Yes. So your mindset is fixed on, now I get to have a warm breakfast. Now, a fixed mindset on something that has a positive trajectory, like I like to cook and I have eggs, therefore I can have a warm breakfast, a delight. A fixed mindset that holds you back, Katie says, I like fire machine. Yeah, I don't really know what the things in my kitchen do. A fixed mindset that holds you back can be damaging, right? So if my mindset isn't willing to shift to, well, sometimes I like to cook, or I'd like to learn easy things to cook so that I can eat healthy meals, so that I can be excited about what's in my refrigerator, so that I don't open my refrigerator and think, why did I even buy eggs? I don't know what to do with those. I'm glad everybody's enjoying Fire Machine. Yes, it's a monster in the kitchen that, you know, apparently other people know how to use it. They've come to my house and made things on it. So anyway, so our mindsets have the ability to either stay fixed and be closed and decide this is how things are. And they have the ability to move into growth, which means this is how things are now or how things were in the past. But in growing, I can see the possibility or potential or opportunity for, or I have recognized that X, Y, and Z, and now I want to move towards that. So sometimes the change in mindset from fixed, where you're just going to stay where you are, to growth is like that, right? A light bulb goes on and you just like get it, right? I'm sure you've had that in your life where you just realize something and you think, well, that's been my truth for so long. That's been my belief for so long. That's how I've been about this for so long. I couldn't even imagine it could be different. And sometimes it's things we learn like from our childhoods, right? Like things our family did that not every family did. Or, 100 years ago, somebody said that some famous boy have Mentos and Coke together and it like blew up in his face. Tell me if you remember who that was. And we all just believed it, right? But nobody knew if it was really true. We didn't have internet back then. So our mindsets were fixed on, do not go anywhere near Mentos if you have soda in front of you. As we've grown up, we've realized that that's probably not the most dangerous thing that exists, nor is quicksand, which is like another thing I grew up thinking was going to be like a huge problem when I grew up. But I did grow into these fixed mindsets for myself. I see it with my clients all of the time. And if you recognize yourself in this, if you recognize yourself as I'm talking about how this shows up in your career, I want you to set up a strategy call with me because that's what executive coaching really helps with. And so I'm going to share a client story without breaking any confidentiality. And then I'm going to share the story of my own break in a fixed mindset that helped me move from where I was to where I am now. So from the client perspective, the most frequent thing that I get, okay, I can't move on yet. The quicksand. Yes, the quicksand. Why do we think quicksand was going to be such a horrifying problem? Quicksand was a major concern. Yes, absolutely. So many of my clients come to me. In fact, most of my clients come to me. And the first thing they do, well, first of all, they tell me how old they are, as though that means that they're either too young to be at the height of their career or too old to change careers. And I'm not sure like what year that tipping point is for people, because I've had somebody 45 come to me and say, I'm too old to change careers. And I've had somebody 45 come to me and say, I'm too young to have the height of my career be at the director level. So, everybody's got their own mindset on what age means to them. But I have clients come to me, and the first thing that they tell me is all of the things they can't have and all the things they're willing to give up, right? So my most common strategy call with a new potential client is I make the most money I think I could ever make. And that can be anywhere between, I don't know, $80,000 and $400,000 or more. I've had clients who have more, and that's the most I can make anywhere, right? So that's the statement I get. So I'm willing to take a pay cut for a job I like more. So already these clients come into me ready to make concessions. These are CEOs, vice presidents, directors. These are people who have made it to some level, and then they are hitting this ceiling that either they've created or that their leadership, their experiences with their own bosses, with their own boards have helped them to sort of fix on this level that they have gotten to and can get to. And they come in, they're making all these concessions. I'm willing to give up the title if I can make the same amount of money, or I'm willing to give up some money, or I really don't want to give up some money, so I'm stuck here forever. I can't set boundaries here. I've got to set boundaries in a new job, right? There's all of these fixed mindsets on the truths we have created for ourselves. Very typically, after our first session, which is an onboarding session where we spend 90 minutes together, really strategizing about how we're going to work together when somebody's decided to work with me. And we talk about those truths. We talk about what we're assuming are true and whether they actually are or not. And I'll tell you, I have had people come to me who are making a boatload of money, assume that that's the most that they can make, and do a little bit of investigating and find out that people at that next level are making more, or people at that bigger company are making more, or people who go out on their own are making more. And every client is going to be different, and not every client is money driven. Many are, a lot are, but not everybody. I've had clients who just want to be like happier and have better boundaries and have better integration of work and life. And so we work together to sort through these fixed mindsets of how things just are, and we question those. And then we work together to see, where do you want to grow? Who are you? How do you want things to be? And what do you need to do in order to get there? Right? So instead of the old, I said at the beginning of our conversation, the old do things to have things so you can be happy, we start with be. Right? Be full of joy. Be in a place where you have good boundaries. Be a good judge of what your values are and what your value is as an employee or a business owner. Then do things. Then you'll have things, but you'll already be filled with joy and success and fun and all of the things that you want. So the things that you have, like, it's not that they matter less. They're like more rewarding because you're coming from your being to have those things. So, and let me know if you have questions about that in the comments, because when I started learning about the being side of me, my high achiever brain, my doer brain was like, say it again. Tell me again. I had to be told a lot of times. I had to read a book called Mindset by Carol Dweck, which really, really outlines the fixed and growth mindset philosophies. For me, my truths were that I had gotten myself into this HR career, that I had worked really, really hard to make it to the top. I was a vice president. I was second in command to the president and CEO. I didn't want to be the CEO of a corporate business. And so I thought my only place to go was like same job, bigger company. was sort of what I was thinking of, or bigger company, more streamlined job, because my HR work was like as a generalist. And when I hired my first coach, I said to her, I don't know how I'm going to fit all of this in. I was trying to get a new certification. I was trying to figure out how to find balance. I was working 80 plus hours a week. And I said, I don't know how I'm going to fit this all in, because I work 80 to 100 hours a week, and that's not going to change. And she said, if you say so. And the light bulb went on for me, because she was right. I did say so. Now, was it easy for me to untangle from all of the extra stuff I was doing? Absolutely not. I had gotten myself in so deep inside the company, into so many departments and so many functions, that untangling from that took months, over a year, really. I might have been able to move faster if I was more willing to, but it takes a while to change your mindset. And I did eventually get there. And first I got myself down to 60 hours a week by learning to set boundaries. And then I got myself down to 40 hours a week, started building what had been a long time, 15-year side gig of coaching as a business, as an actual business and not a hobby, and then took myself to full-time business owner. But in the meantime, I came into this conversation with this coach to really just like get information about getting a specific coaching certification, and, checking all the boxes. How much did it cost? How much time did you spend? All of those kinds of things. And then I told her I didn't know how I would fit it in. And when she said, if you say so, about my fixed mindset on how many hours I was required to work, I realized she was right. Now, there are other areas in my life, there are other areas in my clients' lives where it takes a lot longer to have that light bulb turn on, right? It starts like as this like little dim flicker of light across the room, and it goes out immediately because you just can't believe things can be different. Or, or it just doesn't change, and you have to work around that fixed mindset, right? Some of our fixed mindsets are functional, right? Like I don't have children, but some of my clients have children, and they're like, I'm not going to give up my children. Well, that's a fixed mindset. That's a decision that you've made. And I fully support that. If you have had children and decided to raise them, I think follow through on that is amazing. How you structure those relationships, how you ask for support and help, that's where the growth mindset can come in. That's where the shifting and changing can come in. And sometimes your fixed mindset has to stay fixed because functionally it cannot change. You have a newborn, you're at home, you're breastfeeding. No one's going to have conversations about like, well, just breastfeed at these hours, just like manage the baby, right? Like we don't do that. That's not, I don't have children, but I know that's not how it works, right? So sometimes we are at the mercy of something else, and our fixed mindset has to stay fixed for a period of time. But more often, and especially in our careers, and especially when we get to the executive level, I really see so many of us deciding how things are and what our limitations are. And I find myself still, when I get to something that is scary, I still find myself saying, oh, I can't do it that way, or this won't work because. And I've been talking to my own coach recently about my fixed mindset and where I get stuck on my stuff. And we have worked in the past around some of my fears. And I finally said to her this time around, as we started working on some new stuff, I don't want to sit in my fears. I don't want to stay fixed on the things that like just seem real scary to me. So instead of backing away from fears, I only want to back away from things that are misaligned. Is it perfect? It is not perfect. Yesterday, I was on the phone with her in tears because I didn't want to do something that I kind of wanted to do, but I couldn't get myself to do. And so there still are sticking points, right? Like you don't shift yourself to growth mindset and say like, I'm all fixed. And it's not about fixing ourselves. We are whole, resourceful, amazing people already. It's about tweaking. It's about looking at the things that we have decided are truths and saying, is that actually the truth? If I were quoted in a newspaper, would I be able to stand behind that? If I were on a chair in the courtroom, defendant, the witness chair, the chair next to the judge. If I were in the chair in the courtroom and I had to put my hand on a Bible or raise my right hand or whatever it was, could I swear that this is the absolute truth? Or have I created an opinion that became a truth? Have I created the opinion based on evidence I've gathered from former managers, from current managers, from the board, that say this is the highest I can go, this is the most I can do? Did I take evidence that my boss, who I reported directly to, hired an in-between person, and take that as I'm being demoted? Or do I say, well, is this an opportunity for me to work with this person and learn some new stuff? Or is this an opportunity for me to get the ham sandwich out of here because I should have had that job, or I should have my CEO's job? So often when my clients let go of their fixed mindsets around their golden handcuffs, around their feeling that they have flexibility in this job, and if they change jobs, they might not have flexibility, or they're feeling that they get to have 10 people reporting to them here, and if they go somewhere else, they might only have 1 or 2, and they really love managing and leading people. And once we can break those fixed mindsets and even imagine an inkling of possibility that it could be different, we actually start seeing different, right? And that's a little bit of a different topic. That's more law of attraction, right? We see what we are ready to be seeing, right? You decide you want a yellow Jeep, you never see yellow Jeeps, and then you start driving around and you see yellow Jeeps everywhere. That's law of attraction kind of stuff. So if you've decided based on evidence you've collected over years or months or from one job or from one boss that you are not talented enough or smart enough or experienced enough for whatever next level job, then as long as you have decided that, you'll be right. If you're willing to see opportunity, you don't have to know how. And even when, as many of my clients are, you are typically the smartest person in the room, you cannot look at yourself objectively and figure out where your mindset is fixed and has opportunity to change. That's the benefit of having a coach, right? Or a mentor or an advisor or a productive friend. I always say, and I'll say it again, do not talk to your commiserating friends. They will not be helpful. They will only help convince you that you are stuck where you are, that you are at the highest level you can be. They'll just agree with you because they want to support you and keep you safe. And Amber said, we are constantly evolving with the information that we put in. Absolutely. And that evolution, Amber and others, can be growth oriented, or it can keep us in place or have us move backwards. So I will leave you with this tonight. Thanks, Katie. Thanks for the yes. And Lee, I'm so sorry I missed your you kids get off my lawn comment earlier. I'm glad I was looking over here and could bring that back. So in summary tonight, quicksand is not such a big worry in our lives. And the fire machine in the kitchen is good for some people and not great for others. And you can decide what your mindset is going to be. You can decide if your limits are what your limits are, or you can decide these have been your limits in the past, and now you're deciding it can be different. You don't have to know how. So if this resonates with you, please let me know. Send me a DM, set up a strategy call with me. I do a free strategy call, 30 minutes. I do not hold you on the phone until you say yes to a long-term working relationship with me, but I do offer you the opportunity, and we can talk about what that looks like in a really low pressure kind of situation and see if it is the way that you want to step into your own growth mindset. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight. I hope you had a good time. I hope you have an amazing night. And if you have any suggestions or questions or topic ideas, let me know, send me a DM or leave something in the comments, and I will see you next week, same time, same place.